Hi, everybody. Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Sunday, June the 14th, race number 8 at Golden Gate Fields. It's the Grade 3 $250,000 San Francisco Mile on the turf. Before we get to the analysis, let me remind you, please try those DRF mobile past performances. Experience classic PPs with mobile interactive access anytime, anywhere, on your phone. Exclusive lifetime buyer speed figure graphs, lots more. Learn more, drf.com/MPPS. Here's the field for the San Francisco Mile. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. Restrained Vengeance Mike beat a couple of these last time out in the All-American at Golden Gate going a mile. That race was over the Tapeta surface. He's also pretty good on the turf as well.
Yeah, he's a very versatile horse. He earned a big figure for that very game All-American win last time.
Let's take a look at the Timeform U.S. Pace Projector for this race. And I think there's going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse game here between the 6 Kiwis Dream and the 7 Neptune Storm. Both horses have early speed. I think both might be going for the lead. And I wouldn't be surprised if in that game of chicken, one takes back, thus perhaps giving the other an advantage.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they decide to play it here. Obviously on that pace projector, if Neptune Storm can clear, it's a big advantage for that horse. But all 3 of the horses on the in the outside 3 posts, they all want to be forward.
Camino del Paraiso down towards the inside, kind of forced to be forward last time out in the All-American. Now, the All-American was a race where they basically ran 1, 2, 3 around the track without much closing. I thought Camino del Paraiso ran fine. I've always been a fan of this horse. He's 1 for 20, however, lifetime on the turf, and often picks up minor awards, 12 runner-up finishes on his card. I like him on the bottom again of his single race exotics.
I kind of agree with you. I mean, he's just hard to take on top with that record. And I say that, realizing that in his last 2 turf starts earlier this year, he was second in graded stakes races both times.
Another horse that might be slightly better is Arch Prince. We'll go back to his most recent race. This is a $50,000 claiming event. I like the way Arch Prince ran these horses down in the stretch to win by 2 lengths, but he's 4 for 9 on synthetic with 4 seconds and only 1 for 16 on the turf. I think he's just better on a synthetic surface.
Yeah, his turf form. I liked this win that we're watching, but his turf form just didn't do anything for me.
I think Majestic Eagle is a very dangerous horse in this race, listed as a first-time gelding for trainer Neil Drysdale. This horse is a graded stakes winner already on the turf. He has been facing some tough competition down in Southern California, horses like River Boyne. I thought last time out, he ran okay, sort of evenly in between horses, but he usually pops a buyer in the low 90s. And I think if he gets a little bit of pace in here, that could help Majestic Eagle. I want to use this horse in multis.
I mean, he's very consistent. If he's a good price in this race, I'm not going to argue with anybody who wants to use him. He's got the class lines to suggest that he fits in here. I didn't think he ran that well in the Thunder Road last time, but you know what? Maybe that's just a tougher race.
Mike, do you think Murat Khan could be forward, stretching out off 3 sprint races? I mean, that was a fast pace last time out in the Daytona, and he just can't keep up with those horses sprinting. Wildman Jack has just been a revelation. I mean, that horse, I think, broke the track record up in Saudi, and then came back and broke the track record in Daytona. He's just been really, really good, Wildman Jack. Stretching out in distance, I think he's going to be forwardly placed, and this horse just looks like he's in career form right now for Doug O'Neill.
That's what I thought too. I think, I know that O'Neill claimed him and sort of it feels like their intention was to turn him into a turf sprinter. And, maybe that's worked out and maybe it hasn't. And now they're going to stretch him back out again. But I do think he's improved for O'Neill. He's got some races going a mile that suggest that he fits in this race. I don't know. I like the form this horse is in right now.
And Wildman Jack, I think, broke a track record in Dubai before the Big Main World Card Cup was canceled, as well as the track record at Santa Anita. But this horse does have a little potential. Simply Breathless, another horse trained by Neil Drysdale. Philly, a mare taking on the boys. Lasix off. Interesting angle here for Simply Breathless, who is a graded stakes winner at this distance against mares and has been against some tough mares in her last few.
Yeah, we've talked about her a few times, Dad, in our stakes previews. I'm a fan of hers. Her recent form has sort of lost me a little bit. I don't think they're her best races. She did not run well in the Gamely last time with a pretty good overall trip. But the mile and an eighth, I think, is too far for her. I think she really is more of a miler. I don't know if this is the right spot, Dan, but I remain a fan of this horse.
Kiwi's Dream has really put it all together since these connections stretched him out in distance. Now, both of the big figure efforts came over synthetic. A 97 buyer gate-to-wire win 2 starts back, and the 102 buyer runner-up effort in the All-American last time out, in which he controlled the pace and was pretty game, just outfinished by Restrained Vengeance. Can he duplicate that form to turf? That's really the question mark for him in this race.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was pretty game last time. I thought he ran well in that race. Overall, I don't really see it with him. I know that he's got speed, and I know that he's probably in career best form right now, but he's going to have to prove it to me against this field.
Neptune Storm went against Mo Forza, 2-3-4 back, just could never get over the hump against that horse. That was in tough. First-time older horses in the Shoemaker Mile, pressing a fast pace, taking on Raging Bull, who's one of the better middle-distance turf horses in the country. If Neptune Storm can get a better and easier situation trip-wise and pace-wise on the lead, he certainly fits with these kind of horses.
Yeah, I mean, he's really just getting major class relief, especially off of that, 2020 debut last time, where it was just on a fast pace and really got tired in the stretch. It's the right spot for him, Dan. I'll call him the horse to beat. I'm not a huge fan of his, but I respect that they've got him in the right spot here.
And Restrained Vengeance is a pretty cool horse that has earned triple-digit buyer speed figures on dirt, synthetic, and turf in his career. And let's watch his All-American, a performance that was very game. He sat just off of the leader, Kiwi's Dream. He's outside turning into the stretch. Camino del Paraiso is on the outside in third, not gaining any ground. And Restrained Vengeance just shows his class. Maybe he's just slightly better horse than Kiwi's Dream. He gets his nose down at the wire.
Yeah, I mean, he's very game to win this race. I like that performance from him. And as opposed to, some of the other horses in here who feel like they're coming into this race in really career best form, this horse is very versatile. He has shown in the past that he's a stakes quality turf horse. There's just a lot to like about Restrained Vengeance in this race.
And I think if the 6 and the 7 battle for the lead, Kent will have Restrained Vengeance tracking intently in third, ready to pounce when they turn into the stretch. Let's take a look at our top picks for the Sunday DRF race of the day, the San Francisco Mile. You're a big fan of Murat Khan, Mike, stretching back out. He's done good work at a mile. Why can't he just slot in behind the pace setters and work out a nice trip?
I'm hoping that he can, Dan. I like this horse's recent form. I think they found a very interesting spot for him here. This is a good field, but it's not a great field. He fits pretty well in here, I think.
Kiwi's Dream's in career form in his last 2 races. He's going to have to prove it on turf. I want to send him. I don't want him to rate. I want him to just go, make Neptune Storm take a seat, and hopefully try to take these gate to wire. 6831 for me, 4785 for Mike. It's the Grade 3 San Francisco Mile, your Sunday DRF race of the day, with an approximate post time of 3:45 Pacific. Best of luck.